One of the challenges the Republican Party faces is to prove that it can appeal to all types of women. Well, CafeMom has partnered with Headline News to talk to a diverse panel of Republican women and find out what Mitt Romney needs to do to appeal to voters like you.
Marsha, Mitt Romney wants the female vote, needs the female vote. How's he going to do it?
Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan have to sell the message that we are the great opportunity party. That's what the GOP is. And the main issue with women, all voters, is jobs, the economy, deficit and debt, repealing Obamacare, and getting health care that works.
That's what women across the country told you. They worry about getting groceries on the table, paying the rent or the mortgage, and their children's future.
Yes, they are very concerned about day-to-day life and day-to-day living. And it's interesting because they believe that politicians right now aren't listening and have lost touch with their real lives. So my question for you is, how do you convince them that you do know what it's like for the average American family?
Because I'm the average mom. I'm a wife, a mother, I'm a business person. I look at the consumer economics issue. It bothers me that the cost of a gallon of gas has doubled since this president was elected. It bothers me that the debt clock is ticking up to $16 trillion. I've got two grandsons, Jack and Chase, they're 4 and 3. I don't want them to have that debt. I think that it is selfish that people will not address this out of control government spending. And I'm very much like the mom in the minivan who is dealing with this. I go to the grocery store, I shop, I look at the prices, I know what things cost. And it bothers me that things cost more and more, that government overreach is causing my friends who are small business owners to have trouble with access to capital, too much government overreach on our small business manufacturers, and they want somebody to say, you know, I understand, I live this life too.
Well, that leads me to you, Laura. Where does his faith come into play here? As a Mormon, moms are saying, you know, I don't want to hear about family values issues. I want to hear about this, how this president's going to value my family. As a man of faith, a Mormon, you're a Mormon. Tell us how that plays into his character.
I can speak for how we're teaching our kids. We teach them to work hard. And I want them to grow up in a country where hard work still pays off, where it's a land of opportunity, the American dream. I mean, that's what America is. That's what it's been. Faith is a huge part of it. The First Amendment guarantees the government will not force religion on us, nor will it stand in our way. And it won't impede our right to worship. And we have had a huge movement in this country of people who have tried to put religion completely out of the public square. That's not in our Constitution. That's not how this country was. That's not what the country's built on.
Laura mentioned the family dream. You talk to moms that say it's dying. The American dream is dying.
They do. They believe that the American dream is either dying or dead, and that's a really sad state of affairs for moms who are traditionally more optimistic about family and family life. And Laura, you've told me you believe the American family is under attack, the traditional family values are under attack. In what way do you think that's the case?
I see the American family, the traditional family values being denigrated in some circles. And I think that it should be just the opposite. Research has shown that children do best when they grow up in a family. No, it's not just something that sounds nice to say. It's been verified through research. They do better if they're not growing up in poverty. They do better if they have access to education. Those things are more likely to happen for them if they have a mother and a father. It really is that simple. Of course, it's not always going to be like that for every family, but that really is the best way for kids to grow up as far as having as many opportunities as they can in this country in life.
Jenny, you're a conservative blogger, you're a stay-at-home mom, you're dealing with both. You're raising kids, you're working. What is it Mitt Romney has to do to convince moms around the country that he understands you, that he's not disconnected?
I think he has to do the same thing for moms that he just has to do for everyone, which is just go out and be himself, because he's a good man and he has conservative values. He wants to cut taxes to get small businesses hiring people. He wants to get rid of this whole Obamacare debacle, however we're going to figure out that mess. But he knows what it takes to put groceries on the table and gas in the car, and that is to get the wheels of the economy rolling, to not saddle and burden businesses to the point where they can't hire people.
You say he understands about putting groceries on the table. This is a very wealthy man, and he's been criticized for that. How can you understand me, the mom in the heartland, when you have so much money?
I don't really understand why this is an issue. I want a president that knows how to make money. This guy has been really successful in running Bain Capital for so many years. He was successful running the Salt Lake City Olympics. He turned that, there was a debt there, and he turned it into a surplus. And this guy knows what it takes to get the money rolling, which is what we need. We can demonize money all we want, but it's really, national debt, almost $16 trillion. We need to figure out how to make more money as a country, and this is a man that has done it in the private sector. He's done it almost charitably with the Salt Lake City Olympics, and I have no problem with him being president and doing it for our country.
Jenny, you're at an age where you have 2 young children, and at a time when so many moms that we've talked to with young children say, I've got too much going on, I can't get involved in politics, I can't watch the news right now, I've got too much on my plate already. What convinced you to step out there and dive into the fray?
Oh my goodness, when I started paying so much for gas, and when I realized that I could bury my head in the sand as much as I wanted and not pay attention to politics, that politics sure as heck was paying attention to my life.
What empowered you, Laura, to come here from Utah and speak out for the Romneys?
I love this country, and I want to see it going in a good direction, a healthy direction. This is an extraordinary nation. I really believe in American exceptionalism. We're a special country, and we need to keep that. This summer, let me tell you a quick story. My 17-year-old son and a friend of his started a business this summer. It was a shave ice business. But they started that from scratch. They dealt with the bureaucracy, getting the permits, health department, building permits, things like that. Their business is going. It's a good thing. Parents bring their kids, teenagers hang out there. And then he heard Obama say, you didn't build that. Imagine how that 17-year-old boy felt. I want all my kids to be in a country where that's celebrated. Somebody who has initiative, takes initiative and does that hard work, does what it takes to build something, should get the credit.
You've said that you believe President Obama has a very strange definition of the word fair.
I do. It's bizarre. I think that I feel like he wants to punish people who are successful. And it's just not the way you help a country grow. That's not going to save our economy. It never will.
We're not a country built on selfishness and division. We are a country that is built on celebrating that success, working hard, having that work pay off. And Lindsay, I think you said something so significant. Women really do worry. When they put their head on the pillow at night, they are fearful that this country is going to cease to be what it has been, and that our children and grandchildren are not going to know the opportunities that we have had.
So what is it about Ann and Mitt Romney that is going to provide this? Each one of you, please.
They're a family, and she's raised 5 boys. And she knows what it's like to put that food on the table, take care of kids, see where they're going, hope that they'll have opportunities.
What do you think about the criticism that she's received from women, but she doesn't understand what it's like to work outside of the home? I'm working, I'm raising kids, I'm
absurd.
Doing it all.
That criticism is absurd. I've done both. We have 4 kids. Mine are teenage and older now, and I'm a professor. So I can tell you from my experience, it's harder to take care of the kids at home. I love my job. I love raising kids. They're both very fulfilling, but there's no way you can say that's not working.
I see all of you shaking or saying yes. You agree, Marsha?
I did. I took time and stayed home with my children, and now my daughter stays home with our 2 grandchildren, and she is so busy. I look at her with amazement at how she balances things, and she has a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old, and they are nonstop motion. And she is such a great mom, and you learn. See, this is the thing that I think the Democrats miss. Women travel a very circuitous route through their life. They don't get on a trajectory and go from point A to point B to point Z. They wiggle around, and they take time off to build this wealth of experiences. caring for children and for extended family and serving as president of the PTA and, you know, organizing the Girl Scout cookie drive. All of those skills are transferable commodities, and they're brought to bear in what I think are very well-rounded and full and vivacious lives for us. I like all those experiences.
I can hear the CafeMom members talking right now because so many of them say, I would love to be a stay-at-home mom. I can't be a stay-at-home mom. I have to work 8-10 hours a day to put food on the table. What do you all have to say to those women, and how can the Republican Party and Mitt Romney appeal to them as well?
Get government off your back and out of your pocketbook by lowering the tax rates, having them flatter, fairer, simpler. Repealing Obamacare and putting in place health care that works, that is patient-centered, so that women are the drivers. They make 85% of all the health care decisions, so that you have the ability to make those decisions for you and your family. Getting regulation pushed back so that you're not filling out some federal form and choosing a language and dialing this number and that number to figure out how to run a business. I mean, these are things that have to happen. Women are 52% of the workforce, and you're exactly right. So many women say, I have to work. And I tell you what we need to do is make certain that they've got more money at the end of the month, every month, so that they don't have too much month left at the end of their money, and so that we increase take-home pay.
So Jenny, chime in on that. What does Mitt Romney need to say to make women at home feel comfortable with, okay, he's the one. I'm going to have more money at the end of the month, like Marsha says.
I think Marsha is exactly right, and I think what Mitt Romney needs to tell women is, I want you to take home more of your paycheck at the end of the month. Or if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, I want your husband to take home more of his paycheck at the end of the month, because these regulations that are taxing businesses out of being able to do businesses. I mean, even down to in California, they shut off the water in our Central Valley where we get a lot of our produce. So with that, the higher cost of gas, you're now paying $3 for a head of lettuce because there's less supply, because the water's been shut off due to government regulation, because we had to save a little fish, by the way, little ugly Delta smelt fish. Not that this is a personal issue of mine living in California, but so we have that, and then the cost of gas to transport that. That is what is not allowing women to be able to stay home. Why they have to work 8-10 hours a day to make enough money to go buy the lettuce, to put it on the table for their children. So if we get that government regulation out of the way, we're going to be able to take home more of our money, or our husband's money, or our partner's money, whatever lifestyle you should happen to be in. But I think that Mitt Romney's just going to have to say, yeah, no, I am for you. I think you did build that. You built your business, you built your career, and I want you to be able to benefit from that as much as possible.
Let's talk about the gender gap. Laura, Mitt Romney's pulled in a lot of high-profile women to speak this week. Condoleezza Rice, Nikki Haley, among others. Is that enough?
I don't understand why women wouldn't support him, honestly. I feel like he is such a strong leader. The way he's led in business, the way he's led in so many other, the Olympics were mentioned. I guess I just don't identify with those who say that women wouldn't vote for him. That makes no sense to me. If you want a strong leader to take our nation in a way that's healthy for our nation, that will cut down government dependence. I mean, here's another issue that as our government grows in ways that makes people more dependent on it, they have less incentive to do things on their own to better their lives. And Obama is taking us that way with his welfare changes, for example. People need to be working. People naturally have a desire to work and to take care of themselves. Government should get out of the way and let us do that.
One thing that I'm seeing among so many Republican moms that I talk to is that they are saying about Mitt Romney, well, he wasn't my first choice, but, or they're saying anyone but Obama at this point. How do you get, this week in particular, women to mobilize behind Mitt Romney, to be excited about him as the candidate and not say, well, someone else was my first choice?
Yeah, you know, and I think that one of the things we have in the Republican Party is you do need the high-profile women on the platform speaking, and I think that's good. But there's got to be a follow-on from now to November. And what we need is for conservative leaders, Republican Party leaders, to elevate some of this deep bench of very qualified women who have been in the trenches for years and who have been working, and pull attention to them to help carry this message. Because women primarily vote for someone that's like them. They want someone that understands what they're living every day, as each of you have said. And I think that in order to help get this message out, it's going to be imperative that the Republican Party, that some of the egos step out of the way and let some women move in and help give this message. And that
Jenny, is that possible?
Maybe. I think the women are capable of anything. I think a big plus for Mitt Romney is actually his wife, Ann, and she is what brought me around to hopping on to the Mitt train in the primary process, because I took a look at this woman who raised 5 sons who have turned into incredible men and are family men and have great wives themselves, and I see what she's dealt with in her
How about her medical issues?
Oh my goodness, to
Yes.
do all of that. And I saw a woman deeply in love with her husband, and I see him so committed to her, and I thought to myself, any woman that can get that man, you know, to love her like that, he is a committed, strong, dedicated man, and I think that he's going to show that same strength and dedication to our country.
Where does the Mormon faith play into all of that, Laura?
Family is huge in the Mormon faith. The strength of families supporting each other, sticking together as a family. And I think American women are going to respect that in Mitt Romney, just what you talked about. He's been married to the same woman. He's raised this wonderful family, and he's been true to her. We don't always see that in our politicians, and that's something that I think that can be a real key in bringing women around to the Republican ticket.
And Laura, you are obviously a mother and you hold family, very important, but you're also a college professor. You're also very involved in politics. What do you have to say to the women out there who might be considering diving into Republican politics but aren't sure if they can do that kind of thing?
I think it's just a question of, well, again, my Mormon faith comes back, keeping family first. If you keep your family as your top priority and then you fit these other things that matter in around it, you can do so much. Women, I mean, we're good at doing a lot of different things, aren't we?
we're multitaskers.
And we are multitaskers.
You know,
Yes.
we can do it all.
We have to be able to. You know, I laugh about it sometimes, being in Congress, because when I land in Nashville and then head home, I go to the grocery store, I have things to pick up at the cleaners, I need to run by and do this, that, or the other. I've got things to go to with the grandchildren. I cook dinner for my family every Sunday, for all of my children and our extended family. And I love doing that because I'm the mama hen. You know, I want to keep everybody close and hear what's happening in their life. And that's an energy and a grounding for me that I would otherwise miss. But we are multitaskers, and I hope we see more and more conservative women put their name on the ballot, realize that all this rich wealth of experiences that they have, that all those skills are a transferable commodity. Their country needs them. Freedom, the cause of freedom, free markets, and free people, we need them. We need you blogging, we need you teaching, we need, we need to be rearing a generation of children who are going to love freedom and pass it on to the next generation.
Thoughts?
Well, one thing that we can't overlook is the fact that so many moms out there are not really identifying with Republicans or Democrats right now. They're kind of sick of both parties. They're tired of the labels. They're, in many cases,
Lindsay
not
found
sure
they wanted
which
to
way
start
they want
their
to
own
vote.
party, right?
Yes.
They wanted to start a no labels
No
party.
Labels, Just Moms party. 52% of the moms we surveyed said that they would join a party called No Labels, Just Moms.
That's how frustrated moms are.
You know, and I can understand that. And I think it should be instructive. And when I was co-chairing platform committee last night, we actually talked about this. When you've got over 50% of the women that are identifying themselves as independents, think about it, because you get your worldview from your mom. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. And we are going to have generations of children that are going to come up that are going to be more independent minded, who are going to do exactly what their mom did. They're going to look at the candidate, look at the issues, and then make a thoughtful, well-informed decision. That is an opportunity for those of us that are conservatives, and I think we should take that very seriously.
How does the Conservative Party, though, reach hold of those moms that are sitting here thinking, I'm just trying to get food on the table, secure my child's education, and keep this family together?
I think we do exactly what we're doing right now. We talk. We run for Congress. We teach kids at college and our homes. We blog, pick up the pen is mightier than the sword, and just get the word out there. There is a party for you that wants you all to have equal opportunity. We want you to be able to start a business. You did build that. And just get the word out there. Talk to your friends. Read the paper. Read everything you can get your hands on. Listen to people. Listen to your constituents.
You know, I love what you're saying. You did build it. Last week I told someone, they were talking about, oh, we need a gavel for you. I said, no, go get me a hammer. I said, go get me a hammer.
Marsha knows how to use a hammer, believe me.
No, but you did build it. And isn't that what we want to do? We want to firmly reinforce these American principles that are so, and it's the American dream we want to save. But I also like the hammer because when you flip it around, there's that claw. If you do something wrong, you pull it out and you put it back in right.
Right.
You do it right.
The most important thing any mom can do is vote.
Yeah, oh, you're so right.
We'll be covering events here at the Republican Convention as well as the Democratic Convention next week. Be sure to subscribe to Moms Matter 2012 to stay up to date on all of our reports.